Imagine waking up and the room is violently spinning. You can't stand, you can't focus. You rush to the emergency room, terrified that something in your brain has broken. For decades, the standard medical response to this scenario has been predictable. A doctor evaluates your dizzy spell, assumes it is a harmless inner ear infection, prescribes some medication, and sends you home to sleep it off. But a staggering 81% of these cases are misdiagnosed in the emergency department. Up to a quarter of these supposedly harmless dizzy spells are actually massive brainstem strokes, slowly suffocating the brain's posterior circulation. Treating all severe dizziness as a simple bug is a fatal error. Patients are routinely discharged, only to die from a catastrophic neurological collapse shortly after returning home. To understand why modern hospitals miss this so often, we have to look back to a standard diagnostic practice established in 1972. Doctors are taught to diagnose dizziness by asking patients to describe their subjective symptoms. They ask, does the room feel like it's spinning, or do you just feel lightheaded? But a person experiencing severe neurological trauma is a highly unreliable narrator. Patients under that level of physical stress cannot accurately or consistently describe their own sensations. Researchers at Johns Hopkins proved this by asking patients a series of questions about their dizziness, and then asking the exact same questions just 10 minutes later. Over 50% of the patients changed their symptom story entirely. Asking a dizzy patient to articulate what they feel is biologically useless. It actively points doctors in the wrong direction and directly contributes to the misdiagnosis epidemic. To find the stroke, we have to stop listening to subjective feelings and look at the physical architecture of the human head. Most major organs have a backup plan. If one artery gets blocked, alternate blood routes can step in and keep the tissue alive. The inner ear lacks that luxury entirely. Its entire blood supply is routed through tiny, rigid, bony canals with zero collateral vessels to serve as a backup. If a tiny microscopic clot lodges in this tight corridor, the localized ischemia destroys the ear's function instantly. This happens long before the main brain tissue even registers that a stroke is occurring. Because this specific stroke is locked deep inside the bone, we cannot rely on standard stroke symptoms to spot it. There is no facial drooping, there is no slurred speech. The damage is completely hidden. Faced with a dizzy patient and zero obvious signs of a stroke, the logical next step is to order a scan using a multi-million-dollar MRI machine. But during the critical early window of a posterior brainstem stroke, that advanced technology is a dangerous mirage. In the first 48 hours, an early MRI misses dead brain tissue 20% of the time. The patient is discharged, but the clot remains. Compare this to a physical exam. Reading raw eye movements detects hidden strokes with nearly 100% accuracy. Relying on early imaging gives a deadly false sense of security. The only true lie detector is a raw physical examination of the cranial nerves. To understand why a simple eye exam outperforms an MRI, we have to look at the body's hidden gyroscope, the vestibular system. This system acts as a subconscious sixth sense. It constantly controls your gravity, balance, and spatial awareness in the background. You only ever notice it when it violently breaks. Because this system is directly hardwired to your ocular muscles, bypassing the skull entirely, the eyes function as exposed windows. They physically cannot hide brain damage. When the system fails, it produces a specific ocular rhythm called nystagmus. This is an involuntary, rhythmic twitching of the eyeball that patients cannot fake. That eye twitch is the physical manifestation of the brain trying and failing to recalibrate its absolute sense of gravity. To accurately decode that twitch, elite neurologists rely on a precise diagnostic framework known as the HINTS protocol. HINTS stands for head impulse, nystagmus, and test of skew. These are three unalterable physical tests of the brain's internal wiring. The first test is the head impulse. It examines the vestibulo-ocular reflex, the automated system that keeps your vision locked on a target while your head moves. This chart details how we interpret the results. Paradoxically, if a doctor snaps a dizzy patient's head to the side and their eye reflex is completely normal, it means the brain itself is failing to process the signal. A normal reflex equals a central stroke. Step 2 analyzes the nystagmus. If the direction of the involuntary eye twitch changes depending on whether the patient looks left or right, it is an undeniable exclusive signature of a central nervous system collapse. The final step is the test of skew. The doctor covers one eye, then uncovers it. If the eyeball drops vertically to realign with the other, the brain has completely lost its perception of absolute vertical. The eyeballs are physically misaligning in their sockets. Combined, these three rapid tests act as a biometric security override. They completely bypass the patient's flawed self-reporting and extract the truth directly from the brainstem. We have to replace the outdated 1972 method of asking what dizziness feels like. Instead, we must map exactly when it happens. This requires the TiTrATE framework. It mathematically narrows down the diagnosis based solely on objective time signatures, whether the dizziness is an acute attack, an episodic recurring event, or a chronic baseline, along with the physical actions that trigger it. Ignoring these objective timelines is incredibly dangerous. Recurrent attacks of dizziness paired with a ringing ear are frequently dismissed as simple ear disorders. In reality, they are often transient ischemic attacks, temporary microclots acting as a precursor warning of a coming vertebral artery collapse. This chart breaks down the final diagnostic matrix, dividing a harmless peripheral infection from a central brainstem stroke. Look at the final row, postural control. A patient with an ear infection can usually stand up. A suffocating brainstem stroke victim falls immediately. Medical technology is incredibly advanced, but when a patient arrives dizzy and vomiting, the best diagnostic tool remains the human eye looking deep into another human eye. We must demand the HINTS protocol and objective physical tests. Stop treating all dizziness as a harmless bug. Stop asking what it feels like, and start reading the raw signals of the brain to prevent catastrophic medical failure.